ears. Is this mic hot enough? I sure hope it is. Because if it isn't, we're going to have problems. Okay. Is it safe? It's probably safe to transition over my face. What's going on, everybody? Adrian Hunter, AM Hookah Podcast. Here today for technical difficulties. A little early on a Friday. But, I don't know. I'm over here in the eastern side of the country, so it's 5 p.m. right now. And this is a pretty good time for me to watch stuff, so I figured I'd try out this time of day. See how that works. What do you guys like? What time do you want? Unofficial drink sponsor? By unofficial, I mean they don't sponsor me in any way. I pay them. And that's our working relationship. Line and Kugels. It's a summer shandy. You've already looked at the title of the video. You probably already know what's going on. Today we're going to take a look at Hooked on Hookah. You may have noticed that on the Gamecast yesterday, Matt was smoking some Hooked on Hookah. And maybe he dropped, I don't know if the word's out. I'm assuming it is. On Monday, we're having Mr. Shady, the owner of Hooked on Hookah. And I'm not going to be going over too much about like their background story and the owner himself, because that's kind of what Monday's podcast is going to be all about. So keep that in mind. Real quick, what's going on, Cat and Wetbeard or Austin? Travis Green, what's going on? And so far, I think that's all we got. Too early, still at work. Yeah, it's a shame because sometimes, like when Matt does his at 9 over Mountain Standard Time, it's 11:30 over here where I'm at, and everyone's already out doing shit on Friday. So it's like, it's weird. We'll probably move the time around until we find something good. Maybe Friday isn't the best day for it. I don't know. We're doing this thing where we're going to start doing more brand spots. You're going to start to see us going over brands that maybe we haven't touched on very much. Smoking a little bit on the Gamecast, going over the brand a bit, like we are today, on technical difficulties, and then interviewing the owner or someone that works for that company or a representative that Monday. Something we're trying out. Big thank you to Mr. Brackdaddy, our producer. You the man. Anyone that came over from Instagram or Facebook, hi. This is the AM Hookah Podcast, Technical Difficulties Friday show. This is what we do. Raul, what's up? What's going on? Rose of Death. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. So, Hooked on Hookah. Again, I'm not going to go too much into the background of the brand. I'm going to let Shady, the owner, speak for himself on Monday. Today, what I wanted to do was go over the packaging, go over how I've packed it, and what methods I think work best, smoke it a little bit, and I'm going to be trying a flavor for the first time today. Today, I'll be trying Hooked on Hookah. I don't know if you can see this, but this is a bubble gum. I haven't even smelt it. I haven't opened it. Now, what I will tell you is I've opened 3 different flavors from Hooked on Hookah, because Shady did send us some out to kind of demo and test out so we could talk to him more about his brand on Monday. And I have been a fan of the stuff so far. The cut's a little weird. We're going to get into that. And yeah, you probably saw that it's in my least favorite type of fucking packaging in these stupid-ass baggies. But let's not judge it too much on the packaging, because even though it is an inconvenience, we do have workarounds. We all smoke Tangiers. So there's not a whole lot to go over with my words. I think I should start demoing. The paintings look so good. Yeah, thanks. Wait, I'm looking at... Thanks, Rachel. She paints relics bowls for me, which I'm super fucking pumped about. So let's switch over to the thing where you can see the stuff. And I'm going to go up into, I believe, this corner up here. Okay, Hooked on Hookah. First of all, for any of you guys who followed old school Pipe Dream Hookah content, I changed my hookah table. It actually wasn't meant to be branded like this. He just sent me a sticker, and I like stickers. And while I'm on it, Prestige Coconut Charcoal, in this case the Jumbo Flats, is what I'll be using today, and they are the proud sponsor of the AM Hookah Podcast. Buying, we have an affiliate link for Amazon. They're awesome coals. The Jumbo Flats are legitimately my favorite flat I've ever used ever, period. And I said this long before we got the Prestige Coconut Charcoal sponsor, so bear that in mind. Hooked on Hookah. As you can see, it is a bagged product, which I'm not a huge fan of. These bags, we're going to open it up and take a look at the cut and everything, but these bags are very clunky. I do like what he's done with the interior of the bag, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But as you can see, I've got 3 other Hooked on Hookah flavors. And these are all kind of packaged in IKEA Tupperware. Works pretty well. It's about $3 for a 4-pack at IKEA. Would highly recommend. Just real quick to kind of run down what the rig we're going to be using today is. Obviously the white matte pear, my favorite hookah that I own. I'm going to be using chopsticks to pack, and I'll explain why that is after the pack's done or as I'm packing it. Hookah John 80 feet retro bowl, and again, that's just, to be honest with you guys, I've tried this a number of ways, and it hasn't not worked yet. So I'm just going to show you what I've liked the best so far, which also, this does include a provost, foil, and all that good stuff. But before we can get into packing anything, we need to open up the Hooked On Hookah, take a look at the Hooked On Hookah, and see what's going on inside the bag. Okay, so as usual, you've got your little tear strip right here, and you can tear this top piece off, and it's going to have the little Ziploc. Now, if you don't mind using a bag, there's nothing wrong with the Ziploc. I don't like getting my hands super messy. And you don't really have to get your hands too messy, but when you repackage this, it's kind of hard to not get honey all over you. Which, by the way, for anyone that's wondering, it does say on the back, this is a Virginia tobacco, I imagine flue-cured. Honey and flavor. Nicotine is at 0.05%. 0% tar, for those of you who don't know hookah. Yes, it does not, we don't have tar. We don't have to worry about that the way we smoke. So we're going to open this up, and inside, we actually have this. So it's not like Fumari, where it's just right inside the bag. They actually give you an interior bag. Why do I like this? Because this interior bag is really thin, and you can kind of treat it like a tube of toothpaste and put it into another container. Now, unfortunately, I've used all of my IKEA containers, which is a huge pain in the ass, but I do have a bunch of Chinese takeout containers. And I can already smell this through the bag from all the way up here, and it's obviously all the... Wait, where at? Down there? Sorry. I don't know how my equipment works. And I can smell this through the bag. We do need to get into the cut, and I think the best way to do that is going to be to open this, see if it translates here, and if not, it probably will translate in these. But for the bag, I like to zip it back up and discard it. Not a big fan of these bags. Some people probably don't mind it very much. Guys, what are you smoking? Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, whoever you are. So I believe I have forgot a pair of scissors, which could be problematic. I did bring tongs. I wonder if I can make that work. Yeah, I can make that work. So I'm going to tear this and see if I can get like an even opening at the top so I can just put it inside. Now, there is a trick you can do with a butter knife to make sure to scrape all of it out so all of your tobacco gets into your third-party container. I'm not going to do this today. Just because it takes extra time. I don't have extra protection like a pack mat down or anything. So I'm just going to dump it, and anything that doesn't come out, I'm going to set this to the side, and I'm going to hit it later with a butter knife, which is how you want to do this typically. Right off the bat, you can't see very well. I will readjust the angle so you can. But this is very much, it's kind of almost a swamp cut. It's a very messy cut. There's plenty of stems, although the stems are not full stems. The stems look finely shredded. And I'll explain why that matters momentarily for anyone who doesn't already know. I better have done it. I did. I have paper towel. Brandon Opperman. Headed home to smoke trifecta grapefruit and drink grapefruit IPA. Look at you. We're all nothing at the moment. Just got home from work. Time to pack a bowl, buddy. Alright. So now that we've opened that up, we can grab our chopsticks, stir it up a little bit. And maybe, yep, that's exactly what I thought would be the case. It's a little bit dark in there. So let's go for something I've smoked more of, like this Pepsi flavor. Oh, it smells so good. Maybe I should just smoke the Pepsi flavor. Nah, I'll save it maybe for the podcast so I can gush. But here you can see, since this is see-through, the cut is very swampy. You do have a good amount of stems and things of the like. This isn't an issue, and I thought it would be a huge issue because it just looks kind of messy. But he really shreds all of this tobacco up, and I think this is a good way to do it because this tobacco, we'll get into this in a little bit, but it is a bit buzzy, which is weird for a blonde leaf. I don't know if this is washed or not. We'll be talking to him more about that on Monday. But the stems actually have there's some potency to the stems. There's a lot of tobacco-y kind of notes. But the stems, looking at this, they aren't full stems. It looks like they were just shredded almost vertically through the stem. I don't know how I got away with it, but it doesn't look bad. In color, he does use honey, but it's a little bit dark It's darker than most honey-based tobaccos I've ever seen with any blondes I've seen with honey. So I'm not sure why it's so dark. It could be because it's unwashed. I don't know if it is. I don't think his package alluded to it, but the flavor of it makes me think it might not be washed. Brack and Cox, what's going on, buddy? As far as the pack goes, I think we will just pack this bubble gum. Let's smell this bubble gum. Yeah, it smells pretty much like a double bubble gum, and it's kind of got a chalkiness to it that is reminiscent of the double bubble. And there's like almost like a, I don't want to say an earthy note, but there's like some background scent that does remind me a little bit of kind of a tobacco scent. This could be a Fugazi. This could be a mind trick I'm playing on myself. But let's pack this bowl. This is going to be pretty easy to do. I've actually talked to Bracken and Matt about it, about what the best way to pack it is. And I think we've all come to the same consensus that this stuff performs almost no matter how you pack it. The only issue I've seen when it comes to packing this stuff is the closer you get it to either of the polar extremes, whether it be a super fluffy pack or a very dense pack, it starts to misbehave a little bit. But somewhere in the middle, towards a normal pack or like the gravity pack, thanks Dr. Noob Sauce or whoever coined that term, works very, very well. This stuff can take a lot of heat and it's going to burn for a while. So let's go ahead and pack it. You don't need to use chopsticks. I'm going to keep my little fingers clean, but you can use your hands. You can use an oyster fork. The only reason I don't use an oyster fork is because I feel like I have more control with chopsticks. But that said, I need to go to this corner real quick and see what we can do. All right, so we got our bowl. Oh, I hate this because my hand's going to be in the way. Let me see if I can readjust a little bit. There we go. And we got it mixed up pretty well. Just the reason you use chopsticks is because you can grab so little of the tobacco, like just enough to fill a portion of the bowl without compressing it at all. It's really quite nice. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Just kind of let it fall into the bowl, do a few micro adjustments, just so it's all kind of at the same level. And that's exactly how I'm going to pack this bowl. And we're going to smoke it. We're going to see if it smokes. So we're going to go over the flavor, and I'm going to tell you if it buzzes. And I did eat a little snack. I haven't had dinner yet. It is only 5. I'm a bit of a night creature, but you know, I've eaten enough today where it shouldn't buzz me just based off the fact that I have no food in my body. And you'll notice that I am rearranging the tobacco, but I'm not really doing anything to like dense the tobacco down very much. Kind of let that fall off the edge. Now I'm going to just look at this bowl here and make sure nothing is crazy. There's no crazy peaks or valleys. Everything's relatively close to the same level. And it is. This is, so I'll get this a little bit closer. This is going to be like the swampy mess pack. And I did say that his cut is pretty, what we would traditionally call bad. It's not super consistent. I mean, I guess it's consistent in that it's choppy, if that makes sense. But it's not an actual consistent pack. You can't say it's like finely shredded or leafy or anything. It's kind of mixed, I guess. There's no real like crazy oversized leaves, and there's no like little specks of dirt either. It's kind of a strange cut. Today, I think we're going to find out that the cut doesn't actually matter as much in the performance of your bowl. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to even out the bowl. You can take a poker, just kind of fold everything over, rearrange everything, scrape any extras off of the side. But don't scrape out so much that you lose your height, because I am going to bring it pretty much up to the rim. And I'm thinking that that should be just about where I want it. Yeah, that looks fine. So then we're going to go under here like a fucking magician and pull out a paper towel. The paper towel, I just like to tuck all the tobacco in off of the rim. And I like to make sure there's not a bunch of moisture on the rim so I don't char a bunch of molasses or anything. So something, we'll take that off. Something like that should suffice. We'll wipe the little bit of molasses we got into our fingers off. We'll just kind of loosely package just like that and stick it up here. And we're going to foil our bowl. This is going to be nothing miraculous. You guys aren't going to be shocked. I'm going to put foil on a bowl and I'm going to poke holes into it. Nothing too crazy. See, foil on the bowl. Make sure it's somewhat drum tight. Nope, I don't like that bump. We're going to get that bump out. There we go. Pour it down like that. And then poke some holes. We left our poker in here. That was a mistake. Holes don't really matter. I'm using a Provo, so I'm going to err on the side of more holes. I don't think it matters a whole lot how far down you poke. The stuff is choppy and fluffy enough that it's not going to get super dense unless you force it to be. So there's going to be really no airflow problems in this bowl, I don't think. But as usual, when you're finished, you can always give it the test. Everything's fine. Drop that back in here. Drop the Provos on top. We're going to get a hookah. Let's go back to the front shot so you can see my face now. And we'll grab ourselves a white mat pair. We'll set the white mat pair there. Maybe we'll turn a little bit, move myself over here, and introduce a little bit of the white mat pair to the shot just so you can kind of see it. Take that off for a moment. Stick this on top, and I think we'll start with 3 Prestige Jumbo Flats. Sponsor the show again. And then we're going to probably go with the lid crooked into it instead of hanging off the top. So normally when we start with this, we'll start kind of like with the lid like this, crooked on the leaf and a coal. But I think we're just going to go fully into this mode because this stuff can take an alarming amount of heat. Your room looks so clean with the nat light. Well, my room is clean, Matthew. What does that mean? I think Matt just assumes like I live in filth all day. And I kind of do. But you shouldn't assume that, Matt. Thought we were friends. So we got our coal set up, something like that. Go ahead and grab a hold of this. Stick it in and over, like so. Will this burn the bowl? I don't think so. I haven't tried this yet, but this stuff can take so much heat that I'm willing to bet that this will not actually burn our bowl. Chat, what's going on? B-Loop, my man, pots and pans. Dude, you're coming to the expo, right? Because I can't wait to fucking meet you. Raul, Bracken, Matt, Brandon. Who am I missing? I know Rose F. Death was in here. Travis Green. What's going on, everybody? We're getting ready to actually smoke this stuff and see if it's worth a damn. It is, real quick, while I got you sitting here, I'll go over the other flavors I do have from this line. I didn't label them because the scents are so accurate and strong that I didn't need to. This one I can tell because I have so little of it is Pepsi. This Pepsi tastes like Pepsi. Like, there's really nothing crazy to talk about. This tastes, when you exhale this, it tastes like you just had a drink of Pepsi with ice in it, so it was slightly diluted in the carbonation area. Not that you can get carbonation in a hookah tobacco, really. But it tastes exactly like Pepsi, and on the inhale, it's just very rich. I'm willing to bet he used a little bit of cinnamon in the flavor to get that Pepsi flavor. It's weird because you don't think of Pepsi as a cinnamon soda. I don't think it is. But I think he used cinnamon because you can pick that note up once in a while. This is going to be the Mojito Mint. This stuff smells amazing. I've had it once. I mixed it with some lemon mint by Messiah just to try out because the mint smells very strong, and it is. It's not like an FML or a twice the ice, but it's very strong. And this is called the Fob, which is my favorite flavor I've gotten. It's a double apple flavor, and it's a very rich double apple flavor, full flavored, very good. Oh, you're coming. Good. That's good shit. Let's see if this smokes yet. Not quite yet. It's going to take a sec to heat up, obviously. So, Matt, I was just telling all these fine people about Hooked on Hookah and the little thing we're doing with them. Obviously, you did the game cast with Hooked on Hookah, and I'm doing technical difficulties on Hooked on Hookah. And then Friday, we're going to have Shady Monday, we're going to have Shady from Hooked on Hookah. So, it's good stuff. You know, my least favorite thing about the Pepsi is, about Hooked on Hookah, now that Bracken just said Pepsi is cash money from Hooked on Hookah, and Rudy says Pepsi is money. What's going on, Rudy? Bracken, what's up? I'm mad that he only sent me 100 grams. He should have just asked for all my banking information so I could send him as much money as he wanted for all of the Pepsi that I had, because this is the only like soda flavor, like Pepsi flavor I've ever had that's like spot on the money. It's so good. I've been very impressed. The double apples, very, very good. It takes some getting used to because it's got a bit of a throat tickle. But the flavor's spot on. I think it's just like a more accurate representation of what Alfacker's going for. It's a little bit more anisey, if that makes sense. And then the Mojito Mint is exactly what it sounds like, and it's fantastic. It's very strong in the mint. I think it should be called Mint Mojito. Can't to have Shady on. Can't wait to have Shady on, I assume is what you mean. Yeah, Shady's going to be a riot. From the small interactions I've had with him, he seems like a really good guy. I would love to try the raspberry. And I'm not going to try not to go into too many different things about how this tobacco, the backgrounds of it and everything, and what goes on behind the scenes, because that's Shady's job. He's going to come and explain himself for us and have a nice conversation. It's warm out here in Michigan today. It just rained because it is spring, but it's 5:20 p.m. Eastern time on Michigan, and it's like 62 degrees out, and that's pretty warm for April. So, is everyone else, is winter done for everybody yet? I feel like we're done with snow out here, so I'm pretty stoked. And if you live in a state that doesn't get snow and you ever complain about weather, shut up. You're right, cinnamon margarita is flavor description on the site for Pepsi. That's so interesting. It's so spot on. It's wild. And what's really weird is I don't typically love cinnamon flavors, so I don't know what that's all about. He really did something right. It's such a good flavor, and if you haven't tried it yet, I'm not going to try to sell you Hooked On Hookah. He's going to do a fine job, and then we're just going to help him on Monday, and hopefully everyone buys Hooked On Hookah, and then everybody's happy. Now we got some smoke. This doesn't taste quite like Double Bubble, but let's let it heat up a bit more, because this stuff can take a lot of heat being binded with honey as opposed to molasses. Matt, what's the pack you went with? Well, the pack I went with is the Gravity Pack, used chopsticks, and I ended up packing up some bubblegum. I opened a fresh pack of bubblegum. Snowstorm predicted for Chicago tomorrow. Yeah, but you know what? At least it's Chicago. Like, Chicago's way cooler than Detroit, which is where I am. Definitely click that link that Matt just dropped in the chat. It's for a giveaway for 250 bulls, which are the cryptocurrency we use over here on the AM Hookah Podcast. Now, the cryptocurrency of bulls in the AM Hookah Podcast is something that we've been using for fun, for like heists and free-for-alls and bets on whether or not Matt will win a game he's bad at. Always bet against the house is what I found out about working over here on the podcast. But there's more to the bowls than that. The bowls are going to be used for like real giveaways, probably ones that are bigger than just 250 grams of tobacco. And you're going to want to hoard them a little bit. So use that link, get yourself some free bowls, because we want our most dedicated watchers to qualify for giveaways over people who maybe just pop in for the sake of winning giveaways, because that definitely does happen in this community. People will be like, oh, there's a giveaway over on this channel. Let's go to the giveaway and just take the giveaway. It'll be fine. I'm going to take it, and then I'm never going to watch another video again. And I don't like those people. I like you people who watch all of our videos and hang out with us and get into Google Hangouts when we're done and talk on Facebook and just bullshit. That's what I like. This is definitely gummy, but like bubble gummy. But the gum flavor takes a bit of a backseat. There's something complex going on in this flavor, and frankly, I'm not sure what it is yet. So I'm going to flip these coals, because the coals do black out in the first 2 minutes of the session. And then what you want to do is remove your provost, flip the coals, reintroduce the provost, and I also turn mine to freshen up the bowl a little bit, to put the hot spots, or the pseudo hot spots that can be kind of generated with a provost. Not as much as they are a foil. But the way your lid's crooked off will affect what part of the bowl is hottest. So what I'll do now is I'll move this all the way over here. Maybe bring the leaflet over here. Now that the non-black side of the coals are down. And then grab my provost. Pop it in. There we go. Okay, let's give this a couple more seconds. Oh, tips and tricks. What is Matt talking about? He has a 2-hour stream that shows it off. Matt, what are you talking about? Tommy, Hookologist, what's going on, baby? Now everyone's looking for their bowls. Is Heist supposed to be running right now? If it is, do it. I don't think it's turned off. Akeem, what's going on, man? How's everybody doing? Everyone put the lid in. You said just put it in, send it, ship it. All right, Bracken says just put the lid in. And this is a honey-binded tobacco, meaning that if any tobacco can take heat, it's going to be this one, much like Ugly. So we're going to ship it. We're going to full lid. I mean, I'm pretty sure the clouds are going to open up quite a bit after I do this. Okay, now we're getting a little bit of bubblegum flavor. It is double bubbly. It's not so much... So, have you ever had, I think it's actually just called Double Bubble. It's by Haze. It's from their Cheech and Chong line. And it does taste exactly like a Double Bubble, but even more candied. It's very sweet. This is much more like the taste you have in your mouth as you're chewing Double Bubble, except for the flavor doesn't go away after 13, 14 seconds like Double Bubble does or Zebra Stripe gum or whatever. Obviously, because it's tobacco, and that's not how tobacco works. Tobacco notes kind of exist. The flavor profile is mellow enough where I get a little bit of an earthy hit. I haven't deduced whether or not that's a tobacco note or something shady is added for kind of a more complex flavor profile yet. I have no clue. What's going on, Akeem? How are you doing? And Tommy, miss you too, twin. My day's good. My day's good. I did not work today. I have Friday off. Tonight at midnight, which is 6 hours from now, the new set for Magic the Gathering releases. So me and a few buddies are headed up to our LGS, Pandemonium Games and Hobbies, at local game stores, what LGS stands for. And we're going to play the pre-release, probably only for a couple hours because I'm not trying to stay up till like 6 a.m. I can't do that anymore. I'm an older man now. But we'll probably go play a few rounds, stay up till 3 a.m., come back, have a pizza, go to bed, and then tomorrow I work the night shift, but I got a few videos to record. There's a few interesting videos coming out on Pipe Dream Hookah that are going to be geared more towards newer smokers, but I would definitely either check them out or share them when I do release them, because it's going to be a bit of a push to start to get more people who maybe aren't already in our bubble into our bubble as hookah enthusiasts. You're doing good. Well, that's good. Oh my god. Bracken, you were right. You just put the lid on it. It's fine. Obviously, this stuff's not going to disappoint you in the cloud department. Let's see if I can get accurate. Clouds could open up a little bit more. They probably will. We are on the first 10 to 15 minutes of the session. And it's probably just now adjusting to the lid being on fully. I hear a bit of sizzling, which is something I always love to hear. My Tangiers sizzles when I cook it just right. Johnny Hetfield, what's going on, baby? How you doing? It's Friday, everybody. So after this, what are we doing? What's on the docket for Friday? Do you work tonight? If so, what are you going to try to get away with at work? Right now, I do 2 jobs, but one of them is I work at a lounge. So imagine that. The other one is, and this one is a little bit interesting. I wanted to start hitting the gym more because, you know, I'm super fat. So I work at LA Fitness, and don't tell the people I work with this, but the guy that I work directly with in the building during the night shift, we just work out during our shift. Anyone else getting into shenanigans at work? What kind of bowl do you use for Tangiers? That's a good question, and there's a lot of answers. You can use anything from a Surrey. You can use Predator OG, Predator Alpaca, whichever variation you have. You can use any of the hookah jumbles that are smaller. The biggest one I would try is the 80 feet. You could get away with, the optimal hookah jar bowl is probably the Alien or the 80 feet 80. You can get away with stuff like the fudge bowl. And those are the bowls that I really go to. Stone bowls work very well. If you want to do that, I would avoid the fit because I don't like using a lotus with my Tangiers. But anything with a decent depth to surface ratio is going to be solid. You can get away with either or, but you want either a good amount of surface area or a good amount of depth, and you want it to be able to take around 25 grams max. You can get away with, I usually do like 15 to 20 gram Tangier sessions, and you can cook it for about 2 hours. Heist, huh? You know what a good thing is right now, you guys? I am logged in as Pipe Dream Hookah. Subscribe to me if you haven't. Meaning, I can heist with my bowls instead of the podcast bowls and start to hoard the bowls for myself, even though I don't qualify for the giveaways that we're going to be doing with them. But I like to hoard them anyway so I can show off. Bracken's doing the same thing, only he's one-upping me. Khalid Abed, what's going on, buddy? How you doing? Welcome to Technical Difficulties. Buzz, nothing yet, but I'm going to start smoking this a little bit more vigorously as we get towards the middle section of this Technical Difficulties. And the heat, this is a small bowl, 3 jumbo flats, fully lit. Lid on, let's take a fat rip and see. I don't think there's any burning going on, which is, it reminds me of when ugly is good. When you get a really good batch of ugly, it's fucking great. You know, if you get a bad batch of ugly, you're pissed that you spent $15. So it's a little sketchy. Recently, Jim has been releasing nothing but good batches. But this is my only experience with Hooked on Hookah with this batch I got from Shady. But all of it has been perfect. And there's a few more details about probably why it's so perfect that Shady will inform you guys of on Monday. No burning. The double bubble flavor is coming through even more as it heats up little by little. And that earthy flavor stays pretty much the same. Let me see if there's an inhale-exhale alteration. What happened to your bowls? Well, I did import the file for bowls. So we should be good there. My bowls are correct. So, Matt, did someone destroy anything? Oh, well, Matt's home computer may have not updated correctly, it turns out. However, we will fix that for you. You will not be out of your bowls for very long. The flavor is perfect. And yeah, double bubble from Hooked on Hookah. I was going over, for anyone who wasn't here for the beginning part, Hooked on Hookah does come in these packages, which I've been openly not a fan of. Luckily, we all smoke Tangiers. I keep stuff like this just on deck, and even the Chinese takeout containers, I'll order those by like 20s and 30s of on Amazon or wherever you get yours from. So it's not an issue, and I do appreciate that he includes an interior bag, so you can kind of cut the interior bag, which is see-through, get most of your tobacco out, use a butter knife. There's going to be a video on how to do that with a butter knife coming soon, just a short one for Pipe Dream Hookah, for anyone who has never done it and doesn't know what I'm talking about. And you can get all of your tobacco out into one of these without really making a mess, which I'm a big fan of. Had over 500 on Tuesday, went up to over 800 after the show. Yeah, Khalid, you're going to be handled. We're not going to let your bowls go anywhere. Do you buzz from this stuff, Adrian? Bracken, give me 5 minutes. Right now, it's moderate. I've actually buzzed quite a bit more off of this stuff, although my eating patterns are odd and strange. I do eat a lot, but I don't do the typical 3 meals a day because I am super unorganized. So sometimes I won't eat for like 4 or 5 hours during the day and then smoke it immediately, and I'll get crazy buzzed. I am buzzed moderately right now, but this is going to go on for a little bit longer, so we'll see. But there is some... Matt, did you just say thunderclouds? I think True Hookah King is going to come in here and get you. The flavor doesn't stop. It keeps getting stronger in the flavor department as I smoke. I'm going to say this stuff does buzz. I have a very high tolerance to buzzes. I smoke a lot of Tangiers. I smoke Alpha Comma Midnight, which is a very buzzy tobacco. I've smoked Dark Side. I smoke Frigate on a regular basis. These are things that typically give me some level of buzz. And this definitely, like right now, my buzz is... It's kind of that airy, floaty buzz that a lot of people get when they first start a hookah or they smoke after they haven't eaten for a couple hours. So stay hydrated. You know, you don't want to get the wrong kind of buzz. But I definitely would say this stuff is buzzy, but it's definitely like probably in the Tangier zone of buzzy, not all the way up to like the Alpha Comma Midnight line / Frigate buzz, if that makes sense. Oh, I get it. Technical difficulties looks like that. Yep. We branded it correctly. Did we all just get hosed by the heist? We all just got hosed by the heist. Outstanding. AM Hookah has 3 bowls. Hey, Matt. Oh, wait, no. Matt Desin has 3 bowls. Good. I thought, like, Matt, quit playing with the house money. The clouds are fantastic, and the buzz is... We're buzzing a little bit more now. Given we've just been hitting it like crazy, I haven't been really talking a lot. I've been mostly just hitting the bowl. It's a buzzy tobacco. I am nourished right now, so it's not due to me not eating. I made myself some sage sausage and eggs for lunch. If any of you see a discrepancy in your bowl count, just let Matt know. He's going to handle it. It looks like there was a bit of an issue with Matt's computer update or something. Maybe it got messed up, but it is something we can fix with relative lack of difficulty, technical difficulties. Wow. It's not the beer. I've had less than half of a summer shandy, and let me tell you what, I can drink a 6-pack of summer shandy and drive a fucking car. I'm a 270 pound man. 3 weeks ago, I was 280 pounds. Go me. The trick to going to the gym is work at one. Yeah, Matt's always good about that. He's going to handle this. So Hooked on Hookah, a summary of my first impressions on this flavor and the brand. The brand is buzzy. The cut is rough. The cut is swampy and messy and ugly and gross. But also, it seems to be intentional. He shreds everything, including the stems, and stems do add a little bit of buzz to a tobacco. So it performs very well. It performs under a lot of heat, probably because of the honey binding that they use to actually bind the tobacco, as opposed to the molasses, which is more traditional. Here in the States, we do have a lot of honey-binded tobaccos, and they can take quite a bit of heat. And I don't know, Matt, Bracken, maybe one of you can tell me, is this stuff washed? Because it kind of buzzes a little bit like an unwashed tobacco. And I don't know, but if I had to guess, I'd say that he doesn't wash this stuff. The flavor is outstanding. This bubblegum is bubblegummy, not bubblegummy like haze double bubble, but bubblegummy as much as I want it to be. It's a saturated flavor, don't get me wrong, but you're also getting that earthy note from it, which is attributed to non-washed tobaccos. And then the other flavors have all been very good. The double apple has already hit my top 3 double apples, which is kind of difficult to do. The Mojito Mint is a very strong mint, and it's very delicious. And you almost get some salty notes in there, as if it were an actual mojito. And then the Pepsi is, we'll talk about the Pepsi more on Monday, because Matt's going to try it. But the Pepsi is absolutely my favorite cola flavor ever made by anybody. And that's saying something, because no one's gotten it right up to this point, I don't think. But any other weird questions you may have about Hooked on Hookah, you can tune in Monday, 5:30 Eastern Time, or sorry, 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 California Time. What is that, PST? And then Central and Mountain Time. You should know your time zones. It's going to be 6:30, 6:30, 5:30 respectively. That's where we're going to be live on Monday with Shady, and it's going to be a good podcast. The smoke does feel heavy. There's not a throat tickle. It's almost like a throat, a very light punch. It's like, what's up, throat? Like, it doesn't burn, but there is a heaviness to the throat hit. And it's something that I enjoy quite a bit, actually. Being a K-Peach smoker, it's a feeling I'm very used to. I packed this at basically a gravity pack. I didn't push the shisha tobacco down at all. I simply rearranged it. I used chopsticks in order to not add any density by mistake like you would with your fingers or to some extent with an oyster fork. And it smokes very well. I've smoked this at a true normal pack. I've smoked this at a fluff. I smoked it at a semi-dense. I've just went all along the board with density. The only things I would avoid is a very, very fluffy, airy pack, and I would avoid a super dense pack. But everything else has worked pretty well so far. Works very well, surprisingly well. Thank you, Bracken, for letting me know about this, with a Lotus. And my favorite way to smoke it right now, because I like foil, but since this stuff lasts so long, another thing I haven't touched on this is going to be a 2-hour bowl. Easy, no problem. Probably packed 18 grams in here, max. Probably closer to 14, 15. I use a Provost not because I feel like I need it for the heat management. It works fine with coals. I just want my coals to last as long as the tobacco does. So for 2 rounds, I feel like I need a Provost to drive the session for as long as I want it to go. A lot of blonde leafs, you don't have a worry there. So I'll throw like Messiah, I'll throw coals straight on the bowl. Alfaker, I'll throw coals straight on the bowl. Starbuzz, I'll throw coals straight on the bowl. Tangiers, and now Hooked on Hookah, I tend to switch to a Provost for longevity purposes. The clouds have fully opened up at this point, and they're just outstanding. Thunderous. Can I back up all the way back here? The clouds are great. I love them. I'm always backlit, which makes clouds look a little fuzzy. I've got a white background, which makes clouds look not as big as they are, but I'm happy with the way they look. So that should be fine. Also, there's 9 of you watching right now. If you haven't liked the video, drop a like in the video. Why? Because we don't need money over here at the AM Hookah Podcast. We like likes. After the podcast, we get together and we divvy out the likes between the 4 of us. The 4 of us being myself, Matt Dessen, Bracken Cox, our producer, and our admin, Mr. Captain Wetbeard. Those guys do a great job. So like the video. There's 7 likes. I liked it. There's 10 of you. I'm missing 3 likes. What are we doing here? What did I miss? The dust finally settled and the only following people emerged. AM Hookah won 100 bowls. Hey, Matt, are you... Wait, AM Hookah 100 bowls. How is that possible? Who bet as AM Hookah? Matt, are you logged in as AM Hookah? Are you being degenerate? Matt, quit playing with house money. Stop that. Also, if you're one of our rare Twitch viewers, I apologize for the name being wrong. I thought I corrected everything when I made this live, and apparently it's saying that Matt Dessen is playing Mortal Kombat. And if you haven't noticed by this point, I am not Matt Dessen, and there's no Mortal Kombat to be seen, because it is a, wait for it, a sub-tier fighting game. So why would I even play Mortal Kombat? Why would Matt play Mortal Kombat? I don't know. We're smoking Hooked on Hookah, which is very buzzy at this point. Hi, how are you, Adrian? I don't know. Work, how are you doing? 9 likes. We're getting there. But now there's 11 people watching. Matt, don't like this video with our own channel, Because what happens then is people go into our playlists and they see our liked videos playlist that YouTube basically auto does. And then you see, oh, they're liking their own videos. And it's like, that's fucking weird. It's, oh, man, I love this video so much. I liked it. Don't be conceited, Matthew. I don't believe I have a whole lot more to say. I think I will sit here for a few more minutes and smoke this bowl, though. He did. I would never, ever. He definitely did. I could actually check that right now, but I won't. Because that would be lame. You know what I just realized? I'm actually not on my live watch page. So I need to go do that. So when we are finished, we can do the thing where we actually end the stream on time. I probably will leave the stream going till 15 minutes from now. Just so if anyone wants to heist or anything, you can feel more than free to do so. Just DM'd AM Hookah Podcast on Instagram regarding bowls. Okay, I see you. Ooh. That is really... This is surprisingly buzzy. We're at 10 likes. Thank you so much. Rose, heisting for 100. Look at you go. Okay, perfect. We do have it supposed to be 830, and we will correct that for you. That is not a problem. Anyone else, we'll try to correct it without you even needing to say anything. But if you do notice an issue and you want to bring it to our attention, feel free to contact us on either Instagram, Facebook, anywhere. You can find my phone number. It's everywhere. You can text me. Call me up. Come over to my house. We're going to have a pizza. What is with Russians sending us Instagram messages? I don't know what it means. I'm going to decline it because I don't trust it. And I don't trust this guy. It's probably Putin. Wanted to ask what my favorite setup is so he can do it. Tight. Okay, everybody. I'm going to go finish this bowl. I'm going to make some food. I'm going to get behind the editing bay, and which is literally where I'm sitting right now. Only when I'm editing, I'm a little bit more like this instead of this. I almost made a mess, but we're good. That said, I'm going to hop out. I hope you guys are pumped for Monday's episode with Shady of Hooked On Hookah. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff, Hooked On Hookah, some general hookah conversation, and we're going to do the usual podcast, and you can come. And there's no heisting on the AM Hookah Podcast main show. Why? I don't know. I tried to veto that, but I'm not in charge here. I don't think any of us are. We answer to someone else, and we can't say who that is. Am I lying? No one's ever going to know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, wait. Did I read your Lotus question? Bracken, can you re-ask the question? I will scroll up and try to find it. Have you tried? Yeah, I actually already talked about that. With the Lotus was one of my favorite ways to smoke it, actually. I used a stone fit bowl, popped a Lotus in there, smoked it for 2 hours, 45 minutes. Now, given in the stone fit bowl, it's pretty close to 26 grams of tobacco. It smoked surprisingly well. I'm not a fan of the Lotus. I'm not a fan of any HMD that's not the Provost. I like foil. It smoked very well. The flavor was super awesome. The darker, earthier notes were less than present. And I find that happens a lot when you use a Provost, or a Lotus, sorry. But I did enjoy it, so keep that in mind. Hopefully that answers your question. And if you guys have any other questions, Monday is the day where we're going to do the thing. I'm going to go continue to buzz my balls off. Everybody, have an awesome Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, I'm transitioning to the title screen.